Maddie Steele, welcome to your video breakdown, my friend. I'm super stoked to create this for you. In this video, we are going to help you improve your cutbacks. You told me your cutbacks are feeling a little slow, a little sluggish, and sometimes you're even catching the rail. And this video is going to be all about improving that maneuver. I got a lot of sauce for you in this video, so let's get right to it. First off, I want to just take a look at this clip that you sent me and just say that I really loved seeing you change elevation on this wave and gain speed. If we look at this, wow, you ride to the very top of the wave, you come back down, and you just gained a ton of speed. I really like that you're able to surf, in this top third of the wave coming from the bottom. I thought that was really epic. And that shows me that you have a great idea of how to generate speed when you're surfing, and that you're not afraid to get a little bit radical. That was super sick. With that being said, I have two key points that I want to drive home to you that are going to help you improve your cutbacks. And the first one is that to do a great cutback or to do any turn in surfing, the number one ingredient we need is speed. We need speed. And so when we try to turn with no speed, that's when we end up catching our rail or turning really slow or sluggish. And then when we have a lot of speed and we utilize that speed to do a turn, the turn is much easier and much smoother. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. If you're sitting on a bike and you're barely moving, it's pretty hard to turn the bike. But if you're riding fast and going to turn the bike, you can turn that bike on a dime. And so if we take a look at this clip here, at this point, when you're riding in that top quarter of the wave here, you know that you're going to have a ton of speed as you ride down. And so it would be amazing. Like at this point, the camera goes a little blurry here, but if after you've gained all that speed from coming down, look out to the shoulder for where you want to start your cutback and use all of that speed that you just got with that radical high line to channel into that cutback, because that you were surfing really fast here. And I have another example here from a clip of you at the wave pool. Let's take a look. So if we take a look at this clip from the wave pool, the wave pool's a pretty punchy wave, pretty fast. And right here, you're riding super nice. You're in the pocket. You're gaining lots of speed. At this point right here, the wave starts to slow down and flatten up. I would love to see you looking at this point right here, channel all of this speed into to come out into the shoulder and do a nice cutback. And at the wave pool, it's like at the end of every wave, you have an opportunity to take all that speed that you just got from that punchy wave and practice your cutback. So that would be my advice. If you go back to the wave pool, try to do a cutback at the end of every single wave after you've surfed this nice little fast wave. So overall, it's a adjustment in timing. Thinking about when you gain a lot of speed on that wave and being ready to channel that speed right into your cutback is going to be a game changer, because again, the number one key ingredient we need for a great cutback is speed. And so now I want to take a look at this clip of Josie Prendergast, because she just surfs so beautiful and we all want to surf like her. But she's riding a similar board to you, and I just want to take a look and analyze what she's doing on this cutback here. So we can just take a look and watch it all the way through. High lines, does a nice cutback and swoops back. And I'm actually going to play it next to your clip so that we can look at them side by side and do some analysis. Let me get this fixed here. Okay, two things I want to take a look at here in Josie's clip are her feet, where she has her weight distributed through her feet, and also how she's approaching the bottom turn for her cutback. So let's take a look here. I'm going to take it back a little more. So she does a nice high line there, gets speed, super shallow bottom turn, and then moves her feet back to step on that tail and change direction. So what I really want to point out here is how shallow that bottom turn was. She's surfing with speed here, and this is all she does for her bottom turn. It's just a slight push with her toes to get her board to climb up the face just a little bit, to reach her target to where then she wants to come back and cut back toward the pocket. And the reason she does this shallow bottom turn is because it allows her to maintain her speed. If we think about, well, let's just take a look at your clip here. So I love that you're looking to do a cutback on this wave. You do a nice bottom turn, and then go to rotate the chest. You go to look back to cut back, which is amazing. But what I want to notice here is what happens when our weight is over our back foot when we go to do that more aggressive bottom turn. So as you do this bottom turn here, when we have all of our weight, most of our weight over our back foot to try to change direction, we actually slow ourselves down a ton. Whereas if we had our weight more over our front foot, more over the middle of the board, we're gonna surf much faster. And so cutbacks on these kinds of boards don't require a deep bottom turn. They don't require really to be on the tail very much at all. Like if we look at her approach, her little bottom turn here, she's standing in the middle of the board. First of all, standing right in the middle of the board is going to allow you to surf with a ton of speed. That's where the board's going to have maximum propulsion. There's no weight on her tail, and she's able to speed through this section here. But secondly, just that little push with her toes, putting this rail in the water to gain a little bit of elevation, that actually speeds the board up. When we put the rail of our surfboard into the wave, it actually speeds our board up a little bit. And so you can kind of see this. Her board kind of shoots as she puts the rail of her surfboard in the water. And so I think if we look back at your wave here, instead of looking to bottom turn off the tail here, I think what we can do is just have more of our weight over our front foot, ride out into the shouldery part, and look to do that shallow bottom turn, that little gain in elevation, just by getting on your toes, just by putting that inside rail in the water and shooting the board up high on the wave to where then you can initiate your cutback. And then if we look at the second part of her cutback here, she actually goes and steps way back on the tail, because that's our pivot point. When she's got her weight on the tail, then she can really get that board to come back around and cut back. But she doesn't step on the tail until she's ready to change direction. Like if we think about it, the bottom turn, no change in the direction. She's literally just going from here to here, more to the top of the wave. And then when she's ready to cut back, she shifts back to the tail. And this is pretty advanced, like her surfing in the middle of the board and then stepping way back on the tail. That's kind of the next level of the move. But as far as your cutbacks, you don't even need to move your feet all that much. I'd say just have your weight more over your front foot so that you're driving this board out into the shoulder, not stepping on the tail, not anchoring yourself down. And then when you finally get out into the shoulder and you have room to cut back, then transfer that weight to your back foot and you can go for the cutback. So I'd say at that point is when you want to start having the weight on the tail. But we kind of just rode the tail through the whole thing here. So those are really the two key points I want to drive across is one, channeling that speed that you get from those high lines or those fast parts on the wave to do the cutback. When you go into that wave pool and you're zipping through those little waves, do a cutback on every single end section. As soon as you ride out into the shoulder, just be anticipating doing that cutback. And secondly is just adjusting your approach. We don't need to do this bottom turn off our back foot. We can actually have our weight more over our front foot, more over the middle of the board, do that little shallow bottom turn to just gain elevation, go from, we could be over our front foot here, and to gain elevation, we're just going to put a little weight on our toes like we did, but no weight over our back foot, and it's going to cause the board to just move up a little bit. And as soon as we get out in the shoulder and we have room to cut back, then we can put pressure on the tail, then we can do our body rotation like you did. We can look back to the pocket, which is something you're already doing really well. Like I can see just in this moment, like you already know that you need to have your eyes and your chest rotating to come all the way back here. And it's going to come much more fluid, much easier if you have a lot of speed doing it. And so the whole name of the game is just channeling that speed and holding on to it. So I hope you found this helpful, Madi. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, I was super stoked to create this for you, and I think a lot of people could find this useful. Speed is the #1 name of the game. All right, my friend, cheers.